I sensed a degree of optimism here this morning, or certainly a feeling that conditions were better than they were 6 or 12 months ago, and very clearly better than they were, a few years ago. I think partly that's a response to good news on the economic fundamentals, if you like. I think there's a bit more optimism amongst companies, and it probably feeds then through to households themselves about job prospects and growth in the economy.
Certainly there seem to be good signs. Speaking to people today, it appears that there's been some movement over the last 2 to 3 months which has been reasonably healthy. There are some concerns that lenders are causing difficulties with transactions once buyers have been found for properties, but hopefully with time that will sort itself out. There's also concern that some of the stock that's on the market at the moment might be unsuitable or needs to be rejuvenated in some way. But hopefully if these issues can be resolved, the market should be able to pick up quite nicely in the coming months.
Yeah, we're certainly getting called out to more property and putting more property on the market this year than we were this time last year. Our figures are up around about 12% in terms of increased valuations. Our sales are up a similar amount, 10 to 12%, but our lettings business is up around about 35%.
Volumes have picked up quite strongly over the last couple of months, but there's one sector which is perhaps underperforming, and that's the new homes market. So what we're seeing is fewer developments coming on stream, and because the builders are not building, the advertisers are not advertising. So the agents that we've met with today have all reported that actually the one part of the market that is slower than the rest is the new housing development.
In my life there's been sort of 3 or 4 major housing booms. At times house prices in the UK have been rising at 20-25% a year, and that's not just in London. I mean, that would be across many parts of the country, and actually that doesn't benefit anybody. Nobody is really better off as a result of house prices rising so quickly. It causes a lot of problems. I think we've got more economic policy levers or instruments now to prevent getting back to that kind of situation, and in the Bank of England there's a new financial policy committee, part of whose role is to monitor conditions in the housing market and try and ensure that what's happening in the housing market is not getting so out of control that it poses a risk to the wider economy and to financial institutions.
Certainly the industrial sector is quite strong at the moment. Shortage of supply, stock is selling well and letting well, to the extent where you wonder where the next set of properties will come from. Development is still non-speculative, so it's looking like there could be a supply and demand issue there. Office sector is still very difficult. Retail is going through a tremendous change in the high street and out of town at present. A much debated national theme of how do you regenerate your high street. Across our region here we have similar problems to deal with. No straightforward answer there.